hoping I'm going to tell you that this is all a bluff and he's not going to do anything. No, the bottom line is we don't know what he's going to do because he is completely unhinged. And this has never happened before in the United States of America. We certainly have had presidents who are not functioning at the best of their ability. And there are a number of people in the radical right who are trying to say, oh, he's just trying to be like Nixon and do the mad dog theory of international relations. And what that is something that comes from something Nixon said when he was negotiating, or his people were negotiating to end the Vietnam War, is he would say to them, tell them that you're frightened of me and you don't know what I'm going to do. And that'll give us more negotiating power. But this is not at all parallel in the sense that while Nixon was in fact trying to play the kind of crazy guy, and Nixon had his moments, let me tell you, he also had really sophisticated diplomats doing the actual work. In this case, Trump is not using diplomats. He is using his special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, and his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, to try and wrest some kind of what certainly seems to be business deals out of this attack on Iran. And they're simply not equipped to be diplomats. And in fact, there have been a couple of wonderful studies coming out of the diplomatic attempts that led to Trump bombing Iran that said that essentially what happened there was that Witkoff and Kushner misunderstood the language of diplomacy and didn't recognize what was actually going on there. And one of the things that's really interesting about diplomacy, as you remember, is that diplomats have to speak both for consumption at home and for moving the ball forward in international affairs. And that's a really tricky thing to do. So there are diplomatic ways in which one says things. And I don't just mean diplomatic in sort of the euphemistic way, like, oh, he's being diplomatic. No, there really are diplomatic ways to say things so that you can convey an impression without losing support on the home front or causing trouble in the international front. And Witkoff and Kushner clearly have absolutely no idea of any of this. They think they can just simply go through and throw their business weight around, and that's going to be enough. And of course, what that meant was that when they went home and told Trump what they were saying to the Iranians, they felt that the Iranians had not been negotiating fairly. And this is why Trump then went ahead and appears to have thought he could have a really quick attack on Iran that would look a great deal like Venezuela, and he would get maybe a bump in the polls and maybe some control of some oil, and this would all be great. And that's, of course, not what happened. All right. So in this moment, I can't tell you that Trump is not, I don't know what he's going to